Meanwhile, Canadian yoga wear retailer Lululemon says the recall of its popular workout pants will put a dent in profits for its fiscal year. Lululemon pulled the trendy yoga pants off the shelves this week because it discovered the fabric was see-through. The recall spurred a drop in the stock, but shares managed to bounce back on Thursday, rising more than 1% after the company reported fourth quarter results that came in slightly ahead of analyst estimates. And joining us now from Detroit with more on what this latest quality glitch by Lululemon means for the company is Kyle Bazzy, the president of Benzinga. Kyle, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Kyle, the pants recall, it's the second quality issue disclosed in less than a year. So does this undermine Lululemon's reputation for superior quality? And what effect do you think this could have on its hardcore fan base?
Well, I think that's the question. Lululemon has really prided itself on its fan base. And with, a much more competitive landscape with Nike and Gap coming in, these recalls are really starting to hurt the stock. And we saw that with a huge drop from mid-17s down to the 16s. Even though we have a little bit of bounce back today, I think the investors have a lot of cause for concern. And you see that with a little over a 30% short float right now on the stock. So I think you're seeing investors kind of predicting the future here with Lululemon, saying that if they continue to have these concerns, especially under CEO Christine Day, who many are calling for her head on this recall, you're going to see that this loyal fan base will go elsewhere, especially with lower priced products from those competitors.
Now, do you think that this is going to drive customers to other brands like Nike and Under Armour, for example? Nike coming in with earnings after the bell doing remarkably well. Nike's more established than Lululemon and has a more solid quality base, perhaps.
Absolutely. And one of the other issues with the quality base is Lululemon has traditionally stuck to very few suppliers for their IP and their production process. So when a recall like this happens, you're not going to see a quick turnaround like you would see with a Nike or a Gap because of their superior supply chain. So now you have this competitive landscape that has several advantages, including those. And you're not going to see a fan base with yoga pants that's going to be particularly brand loyal. It's not a product that you would stick to that. If another company can come out with a even equally as good product, they will switch, especially at lower prices. So I think you really have to worry about that as an investor looking at Lululemon for the future.
Well, Lululemon has really been a great growth story since it went public in 2008. So is this a recall, a result of the company just growing too quickly and having less control over quality and its supply chain? On the conference call, the CEO mentioned that they did test the pants in the stand-up position, but they didn't test the pants in the downward dog position, and it's in the bend over, if you will, that they become more sheer.
Well, you think that they would, right? And, obviously with it going around social media right now, sales associates are, to get your refund or to exchange the pants, they're asking you to bend over. And I believe in yoga pants. I might not be an expert myself, but I'm pretty sure that's a good idea to test it in that. But to get back to your point, yeah, that is really a concerning issue. Can they handle their own growth? And I think when a company IPOs and the investors want it to grow so quickly, I think that's often, it can be overlooked. And again, it goes back to that supply chain. So now you have very few partners in the pipe that can really turn this around for you quickly. So you got to come into question, is their production process really worth the sacrifice for that quality? And I think they're really starting to understand that a little bit better. And you're going to see, even with Gap recently releasing a yoga pant line, that you're really going to see the competitors come in and kind of try to take that share from the market from them right now.
Now, very quickly, the company said the pants recall will result in a loss of up to $40 million for this fiscal year. But do you think the financial impact could be potentially bigger than what the company is reporting, especially if this is a start of losing a fan base?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, too, from the investor standpoint. There's these cult stocks, and Lululemon has been one of those cult stocks because they've had such impressive numbers over the years, and it's really mesmerized investors. So once you start going on the other side of that, investors are going to react just as badly to the downside. So now you're bringing in, I even heard estimates all the way up into the 50 millions of this loss. Now you're looking at that, and they already guided really bad after their earnings call recently today. So now you're going to look at that affecting guidance even more. I think the next earnings call, we're really going to see investors come in, especially like I said, with that 30% short float, which is a very, very big short float, and their PE ratio sits at about 40. I think you're going to see investors correct the stock a little bit, and I'd be looking to the downside for this.
Okay, so at $60 a share, you think a correction's en route. Thanks very much, Kyle Bazzy, president of Benzinga.